I got to play Honor of Kings World at Gamescom 2025. Both MRSSSTIX and I, we were invited to do a sponsored showcase for games like Arc Knight's Enfield, Honor of Kings World, Do It Night Abyss, Neverness to Everness. There were quite an extensive amount of games that we were invited out there for, and ultimately this was probably one of the coolest moments of my entire career. Admittedly, the majority of those were for my STIX channel rather than the MMOBite channel, but Honor of Kings World and Crimson Desert are two games that I got to play at Gamescom that I'm going to be covering on this channel specifically. Ultimately, I thought this game was going to be something very mobile. I thought, like, I've been covering this ever since it was announced, and I don't know, like, I felt like it was going to, in no way did I ever dream that I would be more excited for this game than I would be for Blue Protocol, but I am. Let me tell you, this game right here is arguably now my most anticipated upcoming MMO. And I do say MMO because when I asked them if it was going to be an MMO, they told me yes. They themselves, the global team in charge of the entire booth, the event, told me this is going to be an MMO. But not only is this going to be an MMO, you're going to be able to see other players, tons of other players out in the world engaging in content. You can party with them, you can join guilds. Like this is an MMO, and it is by far the highest quality MMO I have played that isn't Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft. And my god, did it feel good. This is an action MMO, and it is fast, it is incredibly flashy, the world is beyond stunning. The world actually, this game actually makes Throne and Liberty's world look like a PS3 game. It makes Lost Ark look like a PS3 game. It makes every MMO that is released in the last several years look like a PS3 game. This, like, I don't care what trailers you've seen for it. I played this on PC at Gamescom, and I have not seen a game live up to the visual aesthetic that this game did. It was enormous. As far as you could see, it was beautiful. The forests, the waterfalls, the rocky mountainous regions, the character movement was flawless. You ran fluidly, you ran effortlessly. The combat was incredible. You had 8 different classes. I believe it was 8 different classes that I got to choose between. You had things like the magic swordsman, you had the ice mage, you had a support class, he was kind of like an orb, you had other sword classes. So I got to participate in the event. That's what they flew MRSSSTIX and I out there for the entire event. They had me walk out on stage and essentially work alongside in tandem with an audience member. So I stood up on the stage and they said, Mark, go ahead, choose a member in the audience to bring up here, and you two can fight the most difficult boss on the most difficult difficulty. And I was like, shit, okay. And they said, if you manage to overcome this boss, they win an Xbox controller. And I was like, cool, that's a great motivation. And they said, but if you lose this event and you fail to defeat the boss, they get nothing. They walk away with nothing but humiliation in front of thousands of people. And I looked at that and I'm like, well, fuck, no pressure then, huh? So we fought the boss, and I had only played like 2-3 of the classes before going out on stage. So they bring me out there and then they're like, what classes do you want to play? I said, I want to play the magic swordsman because I played a lot of that. And then I want to play the support, the healer, because I wanted to keep myself alive. They said, sure. So they give me the ice mage, which I've never played. I didn't know what the abilities were. I didn't know how to do anything. So we get into the fight. I'm trying to learn to characterize I'm playing, and I die. I fucking died. We both failed, we lost, and the guy didn't get his Xbox controller. He was perfectly happy though, because he got to be on stage in front of thousands of people. And afterwards, he was very nice about it. And he was like, hey man, thank you so much. I just checked out your channel after this and you make great quality content. I'm like, thank you. Appreciate that. Sorry we sucked. After that, they asked me to invite the second player. So I did. I was like, okay, you come out here. They asked what characters, the classes I wanted. And I was like, no, don't even bother. I got this. I didn't let them choose. I chose myself. And ultimately I chose the archer, which I don't typically tend to play because I don't like archers, but fuck me in the ass and call me Susie, dude. This archer is insanely broken. You can fly, you can glide, you can shoot, you can like propel rockets and laser beams and stuff. Like, it is unbelievably strong. So I chose that and the support. We absolutely decimated the boss. He took home the Xbox controller, and ultimately we had a good time. I feel like I redeemed myself, and I was happy. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. That game though, oh my God. While playing behind the scenes, I wasn't allowed to record footage. They said that beyond that point, there was no footage allowed to be recorded. It was a no recording zone, and that's because it's still a work in progress. I did ask them roughly how much through the development process is the game, and they said it's over halfway, maybe closer to 2/3, but not entirely. I then also proceeded to ask some certain questions. I said, is there going to be gacha in the game? Because I don't want this to be a gacha game. They said, at present, there are no goals of including gacha in the game. So that was great. Genuinely really good to hear. I love gacha games, but I like MMOs don't need to be gachas. I then proceeded to ask them another very important question. The classes, there are 8 total. How do you plan on introducing and implementing classes moving into the future? How are you actually going to make money from the game? And is there any intention of ever being like introducing pay to win? And they've said, no, we're not going to have pay to win at all. Future classes, however, like currently you can earn all the classes in the game. Future classes will be unlocked in the game, mostly. And then I asked them, could you elaborate a little bit on that? Because you said no gacha, right? But then you said the classes are going to be mostly unlocked as a free player. And they said yes. That is because at present we are considering perhaps introducing like a premium class every now and then. And this is not confirmed. They said they're just in a stage where they don't know if they want to do that yet. I told them please don't do that. I'm sure if they do that, it'll probably upset some people because it's going to introduce a level of it's going to introduce FOMO, so fear of missing out, because people are going to be like, well, if you can buy the cool class and I can't buy the cool class, it makes it pay to win. I want that, but you can get it and I can't. So ultimately, I think that's going to introduce some frustration and cause contention in the community. But ultimately, if they're not broken or OP, or they don't make other classes feel necessarily inferior and don't prompt or prioritize them over the free-to-play classes, then I don't think it's necessarily going to be pay to win or a big deal. I mean, again, like right now, they're not entirely sure how they want to go about doing this or what they really want to do or how they want to implement future classes, but they did say they're going to be cosmetics, skins, and everything, so that's perfectly fine. The world, though, was absolutely stunning. Running around it, there are a ton of different traversal methods. There are like mounts present. The combat was everything I wanted out of an action MMO. Probably the best that I've seen in years. Honestly, this game, as much as I love Blue Protocol and I want Blue Protocol Star Residence to succeed, this game makes Blue Protocol look mid. This game, Honor of Kings World, is going to blow your mind. I kid you not. I cannot wait for you all to play this. This is not a sponsored video, by the way. I genuinely cannot wait for all of you to play this because this is unlike anything you've seen in the trailers. Genuinely, you were not prepared to play this. There are so many things I want to elaborate on, but at the same time, I'm not sure what I'm allowed to say, what I'm not allowed to say, like what I'm not allowed to reveal, because some of the things that were discussed just between the two of us, and I never asked him, like, am I allowed to say this? You know, I don't want to ruin future partnership opportunities, so we'll just leave it at this game. This beta, this demo, I would rate a 9 out of 10. It's one of the best demos, one of the best betas, one of the best test phases I have played for an MMO ever. I cannot wait to play more of this. I know future test phases are coming up very soon, given to how far through the state of development this game is. And y'all are gonna really fucking love this. Trust me. You have been waiting for an MMO like this. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, Instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.